well. Alright. Hello. Is that you already, Caden? You alright? Oh, you're quick on the mark. As always, yes, son. Yes. Well, I don't know about this view counter, Caden, but I gotta say, I checked my analytics, and one day there was 48 people watching. Never told me and you there was 48 people watching, son. I don't know where that came from, but it's on my analytics that because you can check how many people were watching your streams at the same time. So the view counter, I don't know how that works, but apparently I had because they weren't all at the same time. Perhaps that could be an option. But it's funny because it was all within like half an hour. It was very strange. It's like now, so for example, there's 4 people watching right now, right? But here it says there's only 1 people. It doesn't make any sense. But hey, we'll just live with it. We'll just live with it. Maybe you got to get to a certain credential before. Not that I mind anyway. Not that I care. I don't think it really matters anyway. Well, it does matter a great deal, but I don't think it matters at the moment. Oh yeah, being slow, just like me. You know what? My internet went down last night again. Just for a moment, like cut off that stream last night. Oh well. But hope you're doing very well anyway, kid, and I hope you're doing alright. Ginger and a pickle. Oh yeah, well, you can do your crusade and I'll do mine. Alright, where's this? Look at that, precisely midnight, look. 9 hours and 9 hours and 30 minutes. 4th of September, precisely midnight. Cut me off. It was a surprise, I know, yeah. Considering that in full fibre optics. Maybe need a new router. But trying to get a new router off your network's like pulling teeth. Look at that artwork, Caden. Look at that cumin and that check. I remember when it's not a router, it's a router. Yeah. A router. Excuse me, I want to pay for a new router. I need a new router. Look how fast that's trying to load. You know what, this game used to take about 10 minutes to load on PlayStation 4, literally 10 minutes. See that red bar going round now, you see? That's a good sign. Wow, imagine waking up at 5 o'clock, what, 10 past 5 in the morning? Imagine waking up at 10 past 5 in the morning at 40, in the year 1402 03. Imagine what you'd be doing. You couldn't get up and make a cup of coffee, could you? You'd have to, like, drink booze, I suppose. Drinking, like, some kind of mead. Because apparently the alcohol was cleaner than water. So, they had no choice but to drink booze. Alright. You are kidding me. So, what's the mission? Let's see. I think alcohol being cleaner than water is more a Victorian British thing. Do you think? I don't know, there's a plague that took out in Bohemia in 1403. It was like a typhoid that came out. It was actually in the history books. They had dirty water in Metalhead. I believe it's called Metalhead. And there's lockdown in Metalhead. And I think Metalhead, if we look here, Metalhead is somewhere either up here or it's somewhere, it could be, I know if that's Skalitz, Metalhead might be here or it could be up here, and there's a outbreak of typhoid, and apparently when you do a research and you get the maester up, you got to go all the way to the cathedral or like an abbey. Yeah, that's what it's called with monks, isn't it, Caden? An abbey. That's what we were thinking yesterday. It's an abbey, right? It's like a mortuary or some kind of like church place. Right, I'm sure it's an abbey, and you have to go there. And when you go there, there's a doctor. And he makes potions, and he basically he goes up there with you, and even he concurs that it's dirty water. So all the animals died and everything. All the animals were dead. The people were dying. Kind of like what happened in Armadillo, or with the cholera, the cholera. Alright, so what am I doing here? Let's have a look. Can't believe that last night. That means I missed everything that we did. Go to and tell Captain Bernard what you found out about Ginger and then kill the bandits. I managed to find... Oh, so we found him. It's kept that on ball. So we did find Ginger. And it must have saved when I slept. So I've seen Ginger, I've rescued him or spotted him, and then I've gone to sleep, and then I've woke up, and then it's crashed, or the internet went down. So now I've either got to go and tell Captain Bernard what you found out from Ginger, and then kill the bandits. So what we'll do is we'll go back to Townburg, I believe. Let's have a look. Alright, that's Captain Bernard, look. There. So we need to go south east. So we're on the right track, look. And how's your day been today, Caden? You alright? Holy shit. Is that a hanging person? 2 of them? This looks like a future mission to me. Yeah, it's an accident. There's definitely a future. You know, that's actually ghoulish. If you were walking by and you saw that in today's era, you'd just freak out, wouldn't you? You'd cut them down, you'd bury them, and it's just, wow. Can't believe how dark it's getting as well on these nights outside. It's pitch black outside there now in mine. Absolutely pitch black. Oh yeah, we've upgraded our horse riding skill. That's pretty decent. Wow, look at that burnt sun. Very nice. Hello there, dear sir.
I'm sick. Help me, please.
What do you need, man?
Please, sir. Help me.
What happened to you?
What's happened to you?
I've walked all the way from Kuttenberg, but as you can see, I'm barefoot. My feet have frayed to the bone. Don't you have a strip of clean cloth for me, good sir? So I can swathe my feet at least.
I don't think I've got any shoes.
Wouldn't you rather have shoes?
What do you mean, sir?
Just what I said. I'll give you a pair of shoes.
with zero thing. Well, we'll give him our boots. We'll give him our working boots.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I seldom meet such a good Samaritan. God shall repay you.
Anytime. Take care now.
I'll walk barefoot.
What is it?
Wow, his feet have disappeared. What in the Lord's name? What the hell? Let's have a look. Armour, old boots. Oh, they strap over. Right. There we go. So we gave them little boots. Why not? I prefer to play this game without any updates. I know that when you do stream it, it can be rather temperamental. So maybe one day when I'm doing this, I should just do videos, really. But this game has been done and dusted. Everyone's done everything to it. Let's give Captain Bernard an update. Can't believe that heat wave today came out of nowhere. Yeah, extremely hot. But when I walked home, absolutely scorched with the sun, there was cold iron brew. Oh yeah, cold iron brew. Iron brew is basically like when I taste iron brew, it's a Tizer. Right, iron brew is a Tizer drink. Right, it's Tizer. Only the difference is that Tizer has more sugar in it. Right, Tizer has more sugar, and iron brew is Tizer, but with less sugar and more root. More root. I don't think it's burdock. I don't think so, but it's like dandelion and burdock and sarsaparilla sauce are the same drink. They're both the same drink. The only difference is that dandelion and burdock has more sugar. That's the only difference. But iron brew is a Tizer. It's like Pepsi is a Coca-Cola, right? But it's called Pepsi because it has less sugar, right? They're all same drinks, they're just less sugar, but what they did was to increase marketing. They all went crackers and all decided to release all this zero and diet stuff, and they're actually harmful to you. Diet drinks and zero drinks are actually harmful because they're just preservative sugars. They've still got the same sugar in there, it's just processed in a different way, and you it actually does more harm to your stomach than good. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a journey there, so we need to go south here. Just this direction up here. But yes. Iron brew is a Tizer. Dandelion and burdock is a sarsaparilla. Pepsi is a Coca-Cola. The only other one I can think of that has any relation to the others. Diet iron brew isn't a thing. You either get it proper or not at all. Yeah. Well, iron brew is a diet Tizer. Kidding. Iron brew is a diet Tizer, but they didn't call it diet Tizer because it's made by someone different. So instead of calling it diet Tizer, they've just called it iron brew. And that is definitely a Scottish drink. It's a Scottish temperance drink for those who don't drink alcohol and they enjoy a sweet pop. That's what. But I used to enjoy iron brew a long time ago. I don't drink iron brew anymore, but more of a pink lemonade or a real lemonade type of, you know, like a lemonata or something. I'm more of that type of drink. But I did go through my phases where I liked my sarsaparilla and my dandelion and burdock. Wow, oh my god, are we just doing it? Right, there we go, so we're on track. Just all consumable marketing, Caden, that's all it is, just all consumable marketing. They did it with cigarettes back in the day. They did it with cigarettes, like, there was a time in the 60s and the 70s when they tried to ban smoking, right? They tried to ban it, and they were starting to detect the hazards of smoking in the 70s. And they said it used to be full blend, they used to call it, right? They used to call cigarettes that had all the ingredients in it. You just call it full blend, right? And if it didn't have a full blend, it was called a blend. And then what they did was they changed it to roasted. If you look now, tobacco is called roasted. Because they had to come up with something that would bypass the toxins in the cigarette. So they said basically, our cigarettes are not full blend. They are roasted. And all of a sudden in America, when someone said that, our cigarettes are roasted, Lucky Strike is the manufacturer of America, right? Lucky Strike is one of the biggest brands in America for cigarettes. It's at the top anyway with Marlboro, right? And they did it with them. So what they did is they started to create like a full blend and diet blend of cigarette consumables. So just like drinks and chocolate. No, so basically cigarettes went into a consumable then. You know, they went into a consumable. No point banning smoking. People would still buy it, just not legal. Well, they will ban smoking in the next 40 years. Definitely. You'll have people who are children now, like who are like 5, and like by the time they're in their 20s, early 30s, they'll be all on that. They'll be pushing biometric IDs. They'll be pushing smoking because their teachers told them. You see, it's like our teachers pushed us to be sensible crossing roads and don't cross the railway. I'm sure they still do that now. But teachers focused more on certain things where by the time these kids of today are in the 30s, and that'll be like by what? If a kid's like 4 now, in 2023, that means it'll be 14 in 2033, 24 by 2043, and 34 by 2053. So by the time a 4-year-old is in the 2050s, there won't be any smoking, there won't be any healthcare system, and nothing, Caden. There'll be nothing. Those kids will take it all away from the old generation, they will, and they'll just want them to die. Basically, they'll just want them to just perish. No, that's what it's like, isn't it? That's life, isn't it? That's what they do. It's like, they might come up with a system where, like, they'll say, well, if you're over 50 by 2040 something, right, you'll get free healthcare because you were born between 1975 and 1998, right? They'll come up with some technicality, right? And they'll say, if you're born between that era, you'll get the NHS healthcare system. If you're not born in this era and you were born after 1997 or something, or 1998, they'll say you're not entitled to the healthcare system. You'll have to get a healthcare plan. That's what they'll do. And that will all happen by 2035. You know, that's my prediction of the country. It'll go downhill, and then it will no longer be a monarchy. Because I know you like your Crusader kings, Caden. If you want my opinion in this country, Scotland, England, Wales, and all that will not be a monarchy. It will be a dictatorship. I think UK will become a dictatorship by 2045. 2040, 2050, and what they'll do is they'll put someone in charge who is a royal, maybe. They'll put someone who's friend of a royal, or someone in parliament who'll be like real, like, caricature-esque, proper face for the newspapers that you can do cartoon drawings and throw darts at. They'll have someone like that, right, who'll be it. And it'll be a person who's like a son or a daughter of like a military personnel. It will be someone who's related to military. It always is. And it'll become a dictatorship. And it'll just be one person who's not even a royal or anything. He'll just be running the country. We need to keep the monarchy. Well, that's all subject to opinion, and I'm all up for opinions, me. But I agree. I think we should, but I don't think it will, Caden. And watch it deteriorate. Watch it take a downhill slide after 2035. Watch it just go downhill like that. Go downhill. There'll be no money left. All money will be gone. All the estates will be gone. It'll be like, it'll slowly, like, all these estates will be selling all the estates to royals, right? This is just my prediction. They'll sell all the estates off like that. sell. There's hundreds of estates, Caden. There's hundreds of acres of land, thousands of acres of land. They'll sell everything to people abroad and everything of all countries all around the world. You'll have people from like Tsars in Russia or Syria, or you know, you can name any random country and they'll be sitting in a royal castle. They'll be sitting there like, how much does this cost you? Like it'd be on the website for purchases for homes, but like, you know, like Royal Home, it'll be like a separate website just built for the ultra rich. Because you've got websites that are built for common folk, and you'll have websites that are built for the super rich, and you'll have the ultra rich as well, because the rich, what the rich are always trying to do is convince richer people that they're the same richness as them. Because there's nothing worse than a very rich person being poorer than another rich person. They're always trying to make out they're just as wealthy. That's what they do. You know, that's part of wealth. And I believe that's what will happen to this country. They'll sell all their estates. The military will become a private militia. It'll become a private militia group. They'll call it probably the Lions, or they'll call it something to do with English lore, maybe, I don't know. And then what will happen is basically it will take another 20 years before that implodes on itself. So what will happen is it'll be a 20 years of like some kind of dictatorship. And then what will happen is that will implode on itself, and then there'll be a complete absolute anarchy for like 4 years, and then there won't be any law, and then there'll be just chaos in the country. There'll be chaos in the country for like 5 years, and then there'll be some kind of keeping the peace, and the people will take back the country, right, and they'll call it something. And then whoever takes back the leader will become that dictator. You know, because if there's no monarchy in this country, it'll just become a dictatorship. Because they won't have a president in this country. This is just my opinion, not fact. I've got no qualifications in politics, or in law, or in monarchy training, or in dowries, or land. I've got no education in that. This is just my prediction of the future, of what I think will happen. And you know what, Caden? I don't think I'm far off. You know, I don't think I'm far off there, because it won't be anything else. It'll either be a monarchy or it'll be a dictatorship. And if you've watched a film called, I think there's a book as well, it's called Children of Men. It's called Children of Men. And Children of Men is set in a futuristic England, in London in the 2050s, right? It's like 2055 or something, I think in the film they did it 2038 or something in the film to try and make it more digestible. But really, I think in the book it's like 2055, and England is a dictatorship. And you know what they're doing, Caden? You know what they're doing in that book, in that book film, right? I know it's pure fiction, but what they're doing, Caden, is that they're removing all the immigrants out of the country. They're actually going door to door, like Nazi Germany, and they're going door to door looking for immigrants and refugees, and basically sending them to a prison that's actually a town. So the actual town is a prison, and it's massive. It's this massive city town. And they've got them in China now and in India, like massive towns, but they're just prisons. Like market stalls, there's horses, there's dentists, there's shops. There's no money there. Money's contraband, but everyone's all in trade. It'll be something like that. You know, it might not be like immigrants or refugees, but I can certainly see it being like criminals, wanted, debts. You know, they'll basically want like this perfect utopia that's just an absolute mess. You know, and it'll just be like this wiggly waggly line of no one knows what they're doing, and people will just be getting up, going to work, scanning themselves in with a thumbprint. Like, as long as your thumbprint goes in on that deet, as long as you put your thumbprint on, Caden, on the deet like that in the morning, you go beep, beep, and you'll go in, you'll press on beep. You go through another door, beep, Once you do the 6 beeps, you're going through 6 doors. Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to work. And then you got to do your 6 beeps out. Right? Then you got to do your beep before you go into your apartment block. And everything will all be congested. It'll have like your apartment will be just round the corner. You're just walking around the corner to work, so you won't explore the town. You won't have to travel far. You won't have to go. So it's like the police can say, or whatever militia at the time, Caden, they can say. So where are you? Where do you work, Caden? In the year 2052, and you'll say, "Oh, I'm just finished work at the at the." You could say at the office, right? I've just finished work at the office. And where does your office stationed at? Oh, it's on North Street. Oh, on North Street? Is that where your work is? And where do you live? Oh, I live at number 2 North Street. Oh, so you work and you live on the same street? Yeah, but why are you here then? Why are you here? Oh, I just came for a walk. And that will be prohibited. Because there'll be toll stations... And only civil servants will be able to get through, Caden. Everyone will be isolated in one area. You won't be able to leave, you know? I think the worst of societies should be sent into a city away from society to never escape and do a supply drop once a week and leave them to their madness to do as they please. That's what should happen. Oh dear. Well, you're going down a different route there of philosophy. They're criminals. I'm not talking about criminals. I'm talking about normal people who just do regular things. They will feel like prisoners. You know, because that's why they did lockdowns and everything, to already implement the lockdown system. You know? It's just my thoughts on the country, kid. I don't actually think we're England anymore. Kid, and I don't think this is England. I don't think that's Scotland. I don't think that's Wales, and I certainly don't think that's Britain. What I see is just a lump of green on a map that people just see as either a resource or a stepping stone. They just see they don't see Britain anymore. It's not like they look at that map there on the charts, right? And they go, oh God, what's that? Oh, that's Great Britain, that. Oh, hey, you don't want to pass your ships through there. Oh, you don't want to go through there, that Great Britain. Oh, this has been like Longshanks time. No one will go near him. But now, the map's just basically a hotspot. That's what Britain is. It's basically a hotspot for people who, you know, because obviously France don't want them. Belgium don't want them. Holland don't want them. None of these European countries want them. They travel all the way through Europe from the east to get there, and then they go to Dover, and then they get on a boat, and then they come here. You know, and that's normally how it's worked. And that will be the way it will always be. Until one day they'll just say no. And when they say no, England, right, when Britain says no, that means there's trouble. You know, as soon as we say no, Caden, to anyone, there's trouble. As long as we keep saying yes, and keep bending over, and keep saying yes to this and yes to that, then we'll always be like highlighted as what we are. But the day we say no, and that's what Children of Men is. If you watch that film, it's basically the year when England or Britain says no to the whole world. And I advise you watch that film. It's got Clive Owen in it. It's a really good film, actually. It's about women becoming fertile, and they have to take pregnancy tests, otherwise they go to prison. And men have to do fertility checks as well. And there's no one been born in 18 years, Caden. No babies have been born in England or Britain in the past 18 years. And Clive Owen's journey through this dystopia England, it's absolutely phenomenal. You've put some comments on. We need to keep them on. I think the word says should be okay. Wales is a bit so glad they don't rise. Well, the thing is, that was the first place they went to, the Romans, when they arrived here. That's the first place they went to. They didn't go anywhere else. They didn't go England. They went straight to Wales. That's where they went to. because that's where all the gold was and the platinum. And in ancient Rome, they had these massive tubs of water that I'm talking gargantuan sizes. I'm not talking like just a tub of water. I'm talking something as big as like a massive truck. Like a massive truck. And what they do is they'd wait till that fills up with rain, right? So this massive tub would fill up full of rain. And what they do is they tilt this massive tub beyond like some kind of axis, right? Like swinging axis hinge, right? And the ancient Romans would tip the water over entire bankings, and what it would do, it would wash away everything, and all that would be left was solid gold and platinum. And did you know that they mined the entire lot, and all of that is still in the Vatican to this day? All that gold that they plundered from Wales is still sat in that Vatican to this day underground. All that platinum and gold. I'm talking, they filled that tub full of gold and platinum. It was full to the brim, and they spent 500 years draining the gold and platinum from this island. They spent 500 years purely just draining this island full of gold and platinum until there was nothing left. And then as soon as there was nothing left, they left. And then someone else came, and then they came, there was nothing there, and then they basically did whatever they did, which would have probably been the Saxons, or then after them the Vikings, and then the Spanish Armada had a go, and then probably the Normans in like was it 1066 and whatnot, all that madness, like all that stuff, 1066, Battle of Hastings and all that. And but yeah, that's my prediction. The country, it will be a dictatorship, and it'll be about healthcare plans, it'll be about isolation, and it'll and you know what, by then people will be raised and brought up to accept that. And then in the next 100 years from now, you'll just have a community or a country of just people who just don't know anywhere else but their own little borough, and they'll just stay in their own little borough. They'll never leave. That'll be it. And then consumables will be gone. Chewy gum, bubble gum, sugar, chocolate, coffee. There'll be all sorts of things that we find delightful to this day. Well, all like alcohol, and even your iron brew. Even your iron brew will be gone. Everyone will just be on the same stuff. But if anything, Wales will just be a military port. If anything, because Wales is full of mountains, so it'll be full of military ports. They'll probably build antennas, and they'll build massive refugee immigrant centres as big as massive halls in the jungle or in the forest of Wales where you can't see. Like, there's forests in Wales and Scotland. I don't know about Scotland, but there's forests in Wales there that are immensely vast and very thick, that you'll never see anything that's there. I've been to a few castles in Wales that you just couldn't see from the sky. You'd have to go on the ground and look for it to see it. But that's my opinion. That's what I think will happen, and there'll be nothing we can do about it. I'll probably be long gone by then anyway, by the 2060s, 2070s maybe. It's probably by then would have been my time. When I would have left the universe by then, and then whoever's left on this planet, God help them. Only God may help them. Because it's a comic book prediction, Caden. It's not a factual prediction under looking at all the analytics and the economic structure of the country. Every politician manually, and every company in the country, and every shop owner and everything. It's not through a measure of that. It's a comic book prediction. And that is my comic book prediction, is that it is what it is. But I hope you enjoyed that comic book prediction while I make this cigarette anyway. Let's let Captain Bernard know. Wales doesn't need... Oh, it will. It will. In the next million years, they won't be called anything at all. It would just be one massive world nation in 1,000 years. To think that like ancient Rome wouldn't have predicted what this is today, but all this is all based on ancient Rome, because ancient Rome created taxes, and they've not let that go since 0 AD. What is it? They landed here like 50 AD or something, the Romans, like 54 AD, or it's between 34 and 54 AD. They conquered, or they started their conquering of Britain. And the first thing they did was introduce taxes. And if you didn't pay, they slaughtered you. If you didn't pay your taxes, you didn't work to pay for them, they just slaughtered you. And that's the way it is now. If you don't pay your taxes or anything, you just go to jail. Just put you in prison.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it then.
Ginger fled because he recognised one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzik will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
It's still similar though. They still created a tax that the person had to pay, whether they called it tax or whatever they called it. It's still a tax. They still created taxes. The whole structure of roads, businesses, central heating, windows, doors, wills, and all this stuff, and paperwork, and it's all been created by them. All of it. Especially in this country, whether Asia did it way before the Romans is another concept, but Asia didn't conquer Britain. Asia hasn't conquered Britain. Asia didn't come anywhere near here. Asia hasn't stepped foot on this country to conquer. They only come here for housing and sanctuary. The Romans literally came here to conquer it, and they had to create a new system, and taxes was part of that system. Whether it was called something else is another thing, but the fact is people still had to pay to live where they lived and do what they do. If they didn't pay, they'd have got slaughtered. They normally taken the elder of the camp prisoner, tied him up, whipped him until everyone paid. So they normally took the most wonderful, most gentle person in the camp. They used to just string that person up and just whip him all day until each person in that town paid the tax. If they didn't, they just keep whipping that guy until he was dead, and then they leave him, and then they put another person up there and whip them until they were dead, until everyone paid. Oh, hang on, I've got a phone call. Someone's coming to my door at the moment, Caden. You're going to have to give me a minute. One moment, please. Alright, sorry about that. I had someone at the door. Let's see, Rome didn't create taxes. Well, they did something similar. It might not have been called taxes, they might have called it welfare or king's welfare. I don't know what they're called, but they called it something in the ancient Roman dialect. They'd have called it something in Latin, Caden. It's definitely how they conquered. It's one of the reasons how they get resources and money to do stuff. I doubt that the Romans didn't call it taxes. They would have had another word for it. But it's definitely taxes. It's been going on for 2 millennia now. You know what I mean? 2 millennia it's been going on for. So... Oh, but look at all these things you can learn here. I need some help with the killers seeking Ginger. Alright. Let's ask for help.
I need help.
Is that so? What's the matter? Did you lose your way?
No, I found those bandits. They want to kill Ginger.
Fuck! We need him alive. How many of them are there?
Just 2, but they're tough-looking brutes.
We'll see about that. After them. Lead the way.
Oh, nice. Captain Bernard's on the ball? And it's skipping time? It's actually teleporting me there. That's great news. I'd prefer to run with him or ride with him. That's the whole purpose.
This one.
Whoa, what's happened to the captain? Wow. Okay, okay. Looks like we're, Oh, you're kidding me. Come on. Oh, he's broke his right wrist. Alright, it's got it.
I'm going to...
Oh. Wow. Oh my god, that was brutal. Let's see what happened to us there. Horse. Player. So we got an injured torso. Your torso is injured. This injury can result in bleeding if you're not too careful. Oh, and an injured right arm. Your right arm is injured. This injury can result in bleeding. Alright, so it looks like he's taken a cut to the right arm there, I can see. Brutal. Combat. Look at that. No wonder they were kicking our backside. Level 2 sword skill. And yet he was taking out his bow and arrow instead of his sword. Henry. Captain Bernard?
Fuck! Are they still alive? The filthy bastards! They should have hanged for this. Shit! Still breathing? Wow.
So what you can do is you can take all the valuable stuff. Boar hide and some groschen.
Be a bit more careful.
We got brown hose, we got a skull cap, light gambeson, hunting gloves, a necklace, working boots and a padded coif, and silver ring and a small armor's kit. Wow. So then we go into inventory, and then what we do is we teleport all this to the horse. So you go up to the heaviest stuff and just move it to your horse. Working boots. Now it's funny, we gave those to that beggar before, but he didn't take them, so I don't know what's going on there. What I'd like to know as well is, where is Bianca's ring? There we are. There's Bianca's ring. Alright then, so it looks like Henry's seen red, which is bloodshot eyes. So he's been given a hiding. Let's talk to Captain Bernard. Oh, see the cuts on his top of his eye there? It's not too bad, like, but they're finished.
Well, that's that.
There's less evil in the world now. It's just a shame we couldn't squeeze anything out of them. They probably could have told us some interesting things.
They would have talked if they meant to. What's done is done.
True. And how do you fare? Have you found anything?
I did. I've questioned Ginger.
Well now, you do surprise me. What did you find out? Was he mixed up with that gang?
No, he had nothing to do with it. But he recognized one of the bandits and fled in fear.
No wonder. He would have cut his throat to silence him. Who did he recognize?
Some fellow with a limp. From Ujits.
Limpy Lubosh.
Those whore sons. Wonder if you can find that other one while you're at it. All right then. You did your job. Gotta go and report to Sir Radzig, and he'll decide what to do next.
Alright. All I can just hear in the headset is just Henry's heartbeat going do 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 do. That's all I can hear. Notice when he's got a broken arm and torso, he can't grab hold of the thing. He has to leap onto the horse, which is very strange. Very strange. But we need a marigold concoction, and we haven't got any. So what we're going to need to do is probably get some rest. So let's see. There is normally a... If I remember rightly, I think there's an inn somewhere. But considering that we're here, where is the nearest place to sleep? It would be Talmberg. So what we'll do, we're going to make our way to the pub in Talmberg. So we're going to go literally, what's this? We've got to see this guy, report back to Ginger, and then we'll go up to Talmberg. So I'm hoping in the process we won't get ambushed. But if I remember rightly, this would be the camp, right? So if this is the camp... There we are. See what they've got. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just some kind of botched setup. You know, it's so funny, like when Henry's nearly knocked out, because you can get so beaten on this game that you literally, your vision goes in and out. And it's really good actually how they did it. It's really good actually how they did it. When you start to lose consciousness. Alright. I don't believe there's any way to get rid of this red until we actually get some rest, so... You know what? He's literally hanging on there. Henry's hanging on. It's a good job I was wearing that, you know, the cushion jumpers that they wear. What's it called? A gambeson. If he wasn't wearing that gambeson, then I think we'd have been dead. But there's this Polish knight, right? There's a part in the game, Caden, when you come across this Polish knight, and he's not a Polish knight. He's a spy, right? He's a spy for the Cumans, and what he's doing is he's pretending he's a Polish knight to get information. He's got the full paperwork, the flag, and you find out he's not a knight, and you confront him under this willow tree, right? You confront him under the willow tree, and you say to him, like, you just, this little column pops up that you can select saying, I know who you are. Like, I know who you are, and you click it, and then you say to this guy, like, Henry just says to him, like, so how can you explain, you know, if I look at your paperwork here, because when Henry can start to read and write, his world opens up for him, and he starts saying to this person, he's like, me reading your documents here, I can see that there's an error here in your paperwork. Is this a forgery? You're not really a knight, you, because I should report this back to the Lord Cobbler. I'll have you hung at the tallest tree. The next thing, this guy just gets his armour on, he gets out this shield and his sword, and he just comes running at you. Like, I was fighting this guy for 40 minutes. The first time ever, I was 40 minutes fighting this guy. I had to press pause. I had to have a minute, have a break, because this guy was just so powerful. He was like this elite soldier that was just like, he wasn't a knight, he was full of piss and wind, but he was literally an elite soldier that was a spy. And Henry, like, takes him down, and it took me 40 minutes to kill this guy. And, you know, eventually I bashed his head in bashed his skull in with a mace. And you get rewarded greatly for that. You know, you have to go back to Lord Cobbler with all your evidence and your paperwork, and he's like, wow. I remember Lord Divish says, he's like, I can't believe it. We've actually got people in the fucking royalty that's against us now, like, pretending to be knights. We can't have this, Lord Cobbler and all this stuff, and it goes absolutely insane. There comes a point when the lords just lose their head because people are just taking pure advantage of what's going on. So the game gets really good towards the middle. It's so good. And it's a shame it didn't get the recognition it should get because it's just not fast enough. But for me, it's bloody perfect. And I wouldn't give up this game. I wouldn't give it up. There was supposed to be like, see, like now you can actually do sword fighting. So when you're in a battle, you can actually like fight people while on a horse, and you get to a point where your horsemanship's so powerful, like you're literally taking people out in one swipe. And we'll go a left here, right? So we'll put that back in. Like, you can actually get your horse all kitted out in armour and regalia. It's by the end. It's really good. Like, your horse is just a machine. You're just walking around, there's a lump of iron tank. It's walking around Bohemia there, patrolling the areas, and you just become this beast of a patrolman. Got these people in the wild here just doing their thing. Yeah, we need a warm bed to heal this wounds. There's no way we can do this, the rest of this without rest. In fact, where's Ginger? Don't tell me I've missed Ginger there. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Oh, he's not too far. That's not too bad. Alright, no worries. Alright, see where we are? I think Ginger is this way. There we are, it's our private little cottage. This can be our haven for when we're under pressure. Yeah, he's got broken ribs there, Caden, on the bottom left. That's broken ribs. I think if that yellow colour is immersed the entire wheel, you're dead. You're dead, basically. You look pretty comfy.
I bear good tidings.
Already?
That's right.
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great, but
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
Well, Ginger, I can go and ask them for you, but there's no promises.
I could go and ask them if it's important to you.
Would you? You'll definitely have their respect, the way you took care of those cutthroats.
Alright, Ginger. No problem. Does he have food in there, or is he just starving? Well, I think this actually, like, all this stuff here is NPC food. So, like Skyrim and Fallout, NPCs have a food animation that they can just eat whenever they want. So, it looks as though to me that he's got enough food. No, look at those birds' nests up there in that tree. That's pretty cool. I've never seen birds' nests before. Like, aesthetical ones, anyway. It looks as though, to me, he's just surviving on berries by now because he's got, like, a mug of ale. Yeah, he's just feeding on berries at the minute. It's only a matter of time before he starts to lose nourishment. There comes a time when if you leave the mission too long, Caden, it says you have left Ginger too long. Mission failed. Go back to see Captain Bernard. And when you go back, it says like Ginger was captured by the bandits and killed. And when you go back here, you see Ginger dead and the bandits are waiting for you. When you go there, they try and kill you and you kill them, and then like Ginger's dead for no reason. Because Ginger really ran away because he's afraid. He didn't run away because he's guilty. He ran away because he's scared. And, you know, so would I. If I had men like that chasing me with swords and bows and everything, I'd be scared as well. Anyone who says they're not going to be scared is full of shit. Because if you got blokes back then in the 1400s, when they said they were going to do something, they were going to do it. They didn't say things half-heartedly. When a dude said, listen, you know, we are going to kill you, they definitely meant what they said. They're going to do it. You know, and that's what they said to Ginger. So we got scared, he ran away, and so we should do, because I'd have done the same. But the thing is, though, you run away because that's the fight or flight system, isn't it? You either freeze, run away, or fight. And what Ginger should have done is froze. Ginger should have just froze and just answered questions and just cooperated. But instead he ran away. And when you run away in these situations, it doesn't work out well for the person who's running away. It always works out the wrong way for them. It always turns out bad. But no, he doesn't have any food. He hasn't got anything. What we need is some rest. So his right hand there isn't gripping. So he's lost his grip on his right hand. Looks like autumn. Doesn't it, kid? It looks like autumn now. The trees are slightly redder. I suppose that's all you got to do for autumn, really. Just put a filter over it. That'll work. A red filter. And believe me, after this mission, this is where you find out where there's a battle that takes place not long after this big mission. Obviously, it's going to take some time, but there is something not far away. Here we are. Yes, I've been beaten, I am bloodied. And what's really good, Caden, is when you draw blood, it drips down the screen. Like, blood drips down the screen, and Henry wipes it from his eyes.
Out.
Really good.
Folk these days.
Excuse me, you walked into me. Thank you. Wash the blood off. Okay, they're not allowing anyone in the pub at the moment, so fair enough.
Who's there? Answer me.
Innkeeper. Sometimes they don't talk to you when you're bloodied.
How are you?
Feel like hell. Ooh, Henry looks proper done in there, Caden. Place to sleep.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
Certainly. For how long?
Just the one night?
No problem, but you pay in advance.
Here you are.
It's the most expensive inn
Like
on the
it
map.
here? Like sleeping on a cloud it is.
Where do I go to sleep?
In the loft. There's a door next to the chicken coop. Inside there's a ladder up to the loft. You find it all set up for sleeping.
Oh, that sounds nice. Thank you.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing. I'm not doing anything.
Who's there?
Really? It's in here? Really? We're losing energy fast. Okay. Oh, it's a nice loft. Oh, it's just full of hay. It's not even a mattress, it's just full of hay. And you charge me 5 groschen for a bed full of hay? Are you kidding me? Let's see. What do you expect? I don't. A lot, actually. I expect a lot. Alright, what time is it now? 3 o'clock. So it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I suppose we could sleep till... What's our rest? Well, he's 80, so he's kind of... You know, it's not too bad. Must have took a lot out of him. Health of 30, so what we do is we sleep. And the health will go up to 100 by 10 o'clock tonight. So what we'll do is... Can't sleep any longer than 12 hours. Also, we're... I suppose we'll wake up and go for a booze. So we'll wake up at 8. Really, it should be 10 health per week. I wouldn't think it'd be like 10 health per hour. A human would probably heal after a week's sleep. Rest, you'll heal, but... So let's see if our wounds are gone.
I'll have to get something to eat.
Nice. There we go. Let's see. Hunter boots, brown hose, and a gambeson. That's all we need for drinking. Huh? All right. I think if I've paid the premium, am I allowed in the pub? Looks like they've locked it up. Ah, we've paid the premium. We have access to the pub. Nice.
I feel quite hungry.
Really? Alright, let that simmer. Let that stew simmer. Let's get a ale off the innkeeper wench. Excuse me, bar wench. Oh, it's an inn wench. Bar wench, inn wench. Let's talk trade. She sell porridge, horseradish, bread, beer. Alright, let's get something that's 27, so we'll have some smoked sausages. So that's 30, 40, 50, 60, 30, 40, 50, 40. Alright. And some milk. Really? I guess they don't want me having access to the booze.
The boy from Scarlet.
I am from Scarlet. What of it?
I could do with a bite to eat.
They actually locked me out, so they've actually took my money, but won't let me have access to the pub. Oh yeah, is this the larder?
Oh, watch where you're going.
Hi gents. See, they're all lock and key, they're all locking it behind them, you see. How dare they? I pay my premium of £5 and they don't even let me have access to the bar. milk. There we go. There's the baths over there. We can get a bath with a wench in the morning, maybe. There's the moon. I love the moon. It's funny, even though time doesn't pass by in terms of like the lore, like May, June, July, the moon actually has its eclipses and its lunar eclipses as months pass by, but it never leaves May. It never leaves May for some reason. I think it goes up to July with the story, but it never leaves May. Trent is injured. Who's Trent? Oh, is that a player? Look at that night sky. Look at that moon. How are you a Liverpool fan and don't know Trent? Well, that's because Trent hasn't caught my attention. I've seen many forwards and midfielders in my past. And they're all the same, really. They all just adaptate from previous players and try and fill boots of a previous player. That's all they try and do.
Wait a moment.
Hey? What's happening around here while we're drunk?
How are the Talmberg folk getting on? Is it peaceful here?
Do you even have to ask? You're that lad from Skalitz, ain't you?
Yep.
It is you, ain't it? Well, you ought to ask folk in Rovna how they're doing. Some of them come here for an ale now and again, and they don't look too happy.
No
Let
doubt.
me think now. I heard from the stonemasons there's been some trouble
Yeah.
at the quarry. Hope it doesn't
I've heard
drive
that
them
before,
away.
Caden.
They spend
I've heard
a lot
that
here.
before.
Thirsty work, you know. I just hope Sir Divish and his quarrymaster get it sorted out. And that's not all. There's a big festive occasion coming up.
Really?
Lady Stephanie's cousin is getting married, and everyone at the castle's getting ready for the wedding.
Really?
All of us here help out any way we can, too.
Okay.
It won't be at the castle, though. Shame. It's not often you get to see a fine affair like that.
I think you can actually go. I think the day before a wedding, Henry actually, you get an option. You actually get an option to, if I remember rightly, there is celibacy. There's celibacy when you don't sleep with anyone. There's stud muffin or something, or Chad. It's either called Chad, stud muffin, or alpha male, or so. There's an achievement you get if you sleep with all the women that you can sleep with. I think there's about 5 in total you can sleep with. And if you sleep with all of them, you get called like alpha male or Chad or something. Chadwick, or I don't know, it's something like that. A much chance of a fan running on the pitch and making a tackle than Trent. Yeah. Well, that's how good he is. I don't know where he is. I don't even care who he is, and that's a shame, really, because he plays for my team. But they're all the same now. They're just basically players employees that do as they're told. So before they go on to events, they say, right, We're going to ask you this, and you're going to say that. Okay, so what do I say? We ask you, what do you think about moving to this team? And you will say, it has been my dream to play for this team. And it doesn't matter how many teams they go to, it's always been their dream to play for that team that they've been signed up for by powers above, the Italians. That's who decide where players go, is the Italians. They're the ones that make the decisions, remember, about where players get posted at, where they get stationed at, and what they're supposed to say, because the literature and the whole scripture is owned by FIFA. So FIFA make up all the scripts and all the headlines, they make up all the meetings and all the, what's it called, a conference? Yeah, it's called a conference, isn't it? Well, they do all that, and it's all structured. It's all pre-planned and ordained, and they're just basically actors, Caden, that can play really nice football because they've had millions spent on them to get that good. If anyone had millions spent on them, Caden, I'm sure you'll be that good as well. I'm sure if I had millions spent on me for me to play the game, I'm sure. Why do you think Ryan Giggs and Scholes and all them got so good? Because Alex Ferguson invested millions in those kids. He invested millions in those teenagers at the time because they're all from the same team. David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Scholes, all of them. All those super players that they had for Man United, they were all trained from the same stew. They had millions spent on them, Caden. Millions, if not hundreds of millions spent on them to get them that good. That's why Saudi Arabia throw money at it, because they think that's what will work, and it won't. It won't work. Because along with that money, you've got to have the people who train and teach. And our trainers, the best in the world. Football, our trainers, they're the best, especially the back of house teams. They're the best in the world. And once we put our money and efforts together as a country, we're absolutely brutal. But me and you both know that that's not the case anymore. It's all about doing as you're told, and it's all about contracts and logos and brand awareness. They all want the faces on FIFA football. They all want the faces on the jersey sponsors. They all just want to be on a poster. That's all they want to be. And those players increase the prices of the jerseys. So if Ronaldo or Rivaldo, whatever his name is, he's one of the two. If his face is on a Real Madrid jersey or something, that Real Madrid jersey will be triple the price because he is on the picture. And because the Portuguese player is on the picture, the kit is worth 6 times as much. Like when Liverpool won the season, their jersey was 80 quid. 2 seasons later, £24.99. How can a jersey go from 80 quid to £24.99? Well, I'll tell you why. Because of the players. Because they increase the prices of the products. Because you get into the Champions League, that means that Italy will then provide the investors of the club money, or more money to use and spend. And it's all about investors. It's all about investors getting little smiles and smirks and jerks and that. It's about playing chess or playing cards with other investors in the company, and you getting that player to go there. It doesn't matter what that player wants. It doesn't matter what the fans want. It doesn't matter what the manager wants. What matters is what the man or the woman with the money wants. And if that man or woman wants such and such with that money, it will happen. It'll happen, Caden, it will, whether we like it or not. That's football now, Caden. You know, you may as well go to a poker game that's already rigged. That doesn't mean that someone's chosen to win. It just means that someone has gotten in cahoots with the dealer. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean they're cheating. It doesn't mean they're cheating. It just means that they've got in with the dealer. And when you get in with the dealer at cards, you've got a better chance than anyone else. And that's what football is. It's about investors playing with cards and money. And eventually, them cards and money run out. And you know what happens? They replace that investor with another investor. Like they replace that player with another player. They replace that fan with another fan. They replace that stadium with another stadium. They'll replace that manager with that manager. And so on, and so on, and so forth. But when it comes down to Italy, that's not the case. It's a special rule for them, Caden. You know that, and so do I. And I've watched football for a long time. And it doesn't matter who's forward for Liverpool, it doesn't matter who's the best passer. What matters is who's the best investor, who's got the best bank details, and who has got the most clout. And if you've got the most clout and you've got the biggest wallet and you've got the loudest mouth, Caden, you'll get the best team. Because that's exactly what Man United had for 15 years. Is the loudest mouths, the loudest pockets, and the most accessible goals that you can imagine. It's as if like when United used to play, they used to make the goalposts a little bit bigger for the opposition. So when United just scored a goal, the goalpost they were always shooting into was just a little bit bigger. You know, or they had like a remote control ball. You know what I mean? Like, but believe me, it's all about money, Caden. It's all about investors, and it's all about having the biggest mouth. Football is not a sport, Caden, it's a business. It is a franchise. The cup games now are not cup games. They are applications that the companies use to advertise for TNT Sports, BT Sports, Sky TV, pubs and whatnot. It's all about that. You know, if say more people are subscribed to TNT Sports in the London area, say BT Sports earn a massive income from BT Sports in the London area. So what will they do? They'll put more games on from the London area on BT Sports. Not only that, they'll win the bloody league as well. So all them people will invest in BT Sports. You know, oh, my team won this season, eh? I'm going to get TNT Sports because I want to watch my team win. You know what? I'll get the HD bolt on as well for £6. So I'll pay like 25 quid a month for watch TNT Sports so I can watch my team win. And then what happens is they invest in TNT Sports, but that season the team loses. In fact, they only come 6th. So the next thing is they've just invested an entire year on TNT Sports, 25 quid a month. It's cost them nearly £300 a year for the team to just lose, but then another London team would have won. So then they'll reinvest in it. It's all money and channels and franchises and promotions. You know, the only time you'll get a real football game now, Caden, the only time you'll get a real game is the FA Cup semi-finals, the FA Cup final, the World Cup semi-final, and the World Cup final. If it's not them two cups, if it's not the FA Cup final, and it's not the World Cup final, it's not football anymore, Caden. It's an arcade machine that you put money into. Put money into like that. And hopefully, the more money you put into that arcade machine, the better chance it is that you'll win. But that's not the case. All that means is that you'll just get extra credits to last longer in the game. And that's what they do in football. They give more credits now so the team lasts longer in the game. And then eventually... Hey, George. Hey, I didn't notice you there, George. Welcome. Is this... She won yesterday, George. Sorry, I was going on one with Caden about football. Caden likes my views of the grey areas of football. I have my enlightening moments of speech, and I also provide my concrete approach. And I was just letting Caden know that it's not about the players anymore, it's all about franchises and money. Which unfortunately is the future of football, because it was set up that way. And the moment when football stops being watched, and there will come a day when it stops being watched, there will come a day when people will just stop watching it, when it's just pure shit, is the day it becomes football again. But until that day happens, I actually don't know when that will happen. But it's only a matter of time, really. Are you going to say hello, Caden, to George? George the Dragon? The only thing I can think, George, is that he's playing Crusader Kings 3. If he's playing on that, he won't reply for another 5 minutes, because he's probably sending an assassin to kill some other family, or he's doing something to get some kind of power. But yeah, welcome to the stream, George. I'm just making a cigarette, George. I won't be too long. I'm going to make a drink in a minute as well, so... In fact, I think I've got a Dr. Pepper in the fridge. Not playing Crusader Kings 3 right now. You have my full attention. Oh yeah! You like the football drop down here? Well, I'll tell you. Even football would agree with me. Even the FA would agree with me. It's like, yeah, he's right. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a business. And we've got to maintain our businesses by creating new relationships. It's like, what did Hillsborough do? It's like, I'm a Liverpool fan. I know what happened to Hillsborough. I was there when it happened. Right? I was there when it happened. So... what happened after Hillsborough? What happened to football? What did they do? Yeah? Do you remember they used to put the bars up to lock fans in there? That caused the crushing, right? The crushing of the players. They had them cages up. Yeah, you remember there were cages back in the days. Put them in cages, you know. Football fans, they weren't allowed to like open watch freedom like you can now. You were caged in the 80s. You had bars, so people were getting crushed in the bars. It changed football completely. It changed the whole health and safety about things, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to create the steward system and the police patrol system. And then you had the football hooliganisms of the 80s. Yeah? Because that's what they wanted to end, the football hooligans. And it was actually a bit still are in Germany. Are they still in Germany, the bars? Right. Yeah, but the Germans don't mess around with sending loads of people to get crushed in one area. It's not hard to send people to get crushed, Caden. It's not difficult to send loads of things down one area to get crushed. It's dead easy to do that. Anyone can say go that way, you know. But Hillsborough changed the whole factor of football. It changed the ticket system, the steward system, the stadium setups. It changed everything. Hooliganism is best. Well, let's just say that for some reason, Caden, there were people back in the late 90s and the mid 90s and early millennium that were doing that. They're beating the living daylights out of other people for it. You know what? Apparently that's good. It's like, no, it's not. And the thing is, the way they did it was back in the days that you had people, these people who were in football firms and that would come to games wearing the best clothes. So they go to football games wearing the best clothes, right? And these people who watched the games back in the 80s and the 90s wearing Thomas Burberry and Ellie Ensign and Rockport and Ben Sherman and Thomas Burberry. Like, you had these brands back then, you know, Lacoste and all that. Like, these fans would come wearing this really nice clothes that was worth a fortune. So you thought, well, if someone's coming to the football wearing that outfit, they're not going to go fighting in that outfit, because you don't want to rip that. Well, I'll tell you something, they did go and fight in that outfit, because that's exactly what they did. That was their camouflage. They actually went to the games wearing nice clothes, so they wouldn't get detected as hooligans. They'd think that they were like reputable individuals, but they were really like hooligans. So really clever idea, really, you know. And before mobile phones, they had to just meet up via clockwork. It was all clockwork. There's a lot of mobile phones that they use now. And you've got those films that came out in the 2010s with Danny Dyer and Elijah Wood. The one for West Ham and the one for Chelsea. Right? The two football films that came out. Where Danny Dyer gets shot at the end. Yeah, there's that one, and the one with Elijah Wood. He's a West Ham hooligan. He's like a soft boy from America, isn't he? He's an American. Becomes a hooligan. And even after the fight, and they're all bloodied and bashed, they're high on it. They're high on that, Caden, because what it is, it's all about masculinity, Caden. It's all about masculinity. And the thing is, when you go fighting like that and you get a little rush when you've had a fight and you're blooded and bruised and you're bleeding and you're in pain, and you get high off that, you get high off the fight and you get high off the battle, afterwards, that means that you're experiencing your own masculinity. And the moment a man experiences his masculinity is the moment when things change in his life. And it's normally, we discover it with women, or we discover it with a group of other men. And we either go down a path of the military route with other men, or the hooliganism, or we do it some other way. Hooliganism is based. Was it you? What was me? What do you mean, was it you? On what? Looks like George has gone. You can't, to hold people's attention span these days, you got to have a pair of tits on a camera and like really long brown hair with loads of makeup on. That's the deal now with viewers, Caden. They're more interested in the camera work and the posh cameras and the nice teeth and the clean faces and whatnot. They don't want to sit down and watch Kingdom Come and listen to some guy talk about football. Who in the Lord's name would want to sit down and watch a stream about that? You'd have to be high off your ass to enjoy that, right? Believe me. But no, nothing was me. Haven't saw the whole group in a while. Stream Daisy and they will all spawn in. Nah, not playing that again. To be honest with you, those people who were there on Daisy, all they wanted was basically send me a friend request. They wanted to have some kind of small time YouTuber as a friend on PlayStation, so they could all be like, oh yeah, and then they'll never watch the channel again or even play games with me. It's just that abnormal function of wanting something that you cannot have, and then when it's actually there and it's accessible to them, they don't see the value in it anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the score, basically. Because once they got, like, the friend request and everything, so I just basically removed everyone as a friend. I just removed everybody, to a degree. Caden, I just removed every person. Just went like, remove. I'm not doing that. I'm not making any... If anyone sends me a friend request on YouTube now on PlayStation, it gets deleted. Those days are over. Not doing it anymore, because once you start accepting friend requests and you start doing this, no one gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn. And if I started streaming DayZ, they'd only want to watch that so they could stream snipe or stream attack and watch. It's just a little childish thing that they're all into. It's got nothing to do with me as a YouTuber. All that is just them wanting to get on stream and stream snipe and ambush someone and get a little kick out of it so they can all laugh in the little tent. That's all that is, Caden, because if they were honest followers, Caden, they'd be here right now, regardless what I'm playing on. And they're not, because it's all about a game to them. It's all about them playing games and outwitting people and thinking they're funny. That's all it is. If I put on DayZ now, Caden, it wouldn't make a difference. Believe me. And the only reason they spoke to me on it is because they've tried to speak to Frankie, they've tried to speak to that other YouTuber, the guy from London, and they tried to speak to that Dutch fella. I can't remember his name now. He's a pretty good DayZ YouTuber, but they've probably tried to speak with them, and no one's bothered with them. Like, they've not even got a reply. So what they've done is they've just knocked on to the next best thing, which is like a small time YouTuber to fill that void, because these big time YouTubers don't speak to them. They don't converse with these youngsters these days, or these young players in the 18, 19, 20 years old. They're not conversing with them. They don't care that they're putting comments on, you see, because the channel's that big, they literally don't care. You know, I understand the nature on YouTube and how it works. And as well, they were off for summer holidays. And there's the essence of duplicate accounts, repeating emails, similar usernames. It's all double Dutch. It's all double accounts. It's all weird. So I just said, you know what? Leave it. So DayZ on the channel is finished. I wouldn't say it's finished. I'd say it's more... I wouldn't say finished. I would say more... put on the shelf. It's on the shelf. That's where I'm going to put it. But yeah, they were just joining because they probably had no other channel that played it. You know, that they could actually perform the ambushes. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind like entertaining viewers and fans on the channel, ambushing and stream sniping me. I couldn't care less. It doesn't matter to me. You know, none of it does. But did you try to quit smoking? And do you want to quit smoking in general? I heard that almost all smokers want to quit. I almost must mention that English isn't my native language, so I shall excuse for some mistakes. Smoking? The only time a smoker stops smoking, George, is when they have a health scare. So if they wake up and they can't breathe, or they have an asthma attack, or they have something that puts them in jeopardy, pain, or some kind of jolt, they'll stop smoking straight away. You know, they will. But smoking is purely... It's a consumable, so... Hey, sweet. On the candlelight, eh? Alright, let's have a mead. We'll have a mead. $10 at night. But no, I don't want to quit smoking actually, George. No, I don't. I'm actually happy to continue smoking. It's not something I promote though on the channel. I would never smoke. Never smoke. The only reason I smoked is because I wasn't allowed... When I was younger, my mum didn't let me cross any roads. I was hardly ever allowed to go to the park. I wasn't allowed to go on fairground rides. I wasn't allowed to go to the cinema to watch 15s or 18s. I wasn't allowed to watch certain films. I wasn't allowed to watch certain programs because all my brothers were older than me and I was the youngling. I was the youngest. So when I became an adult, I just said... Someone said to me, do you want to try that? I said, yeah. No worries, I'll try it. And tried smoking. And then that was it. So, I suppose the only reason I started smoking is because my parents restricted me in doing things I wanted to do. I think the only things they let me do was play on my Mega Drive, play on my Super Nintendo, play on my PlayStation, play on my Sega Saturn and stuff. But when it came down to making decisions for myself and my own life, they wouldn't let me do it. Until I became an adult, and then when I started making decisions, there might have been some wrong decisions or unwise ones along the way, but the decisions I made, because it's our life, right, and we can do what we want with our life. It's ours to do as we wish with it. And that would be the reason why I started smoking, because I wanted that independence, you know. I was quite young actually at smoking. I think I was 16. I was either 16 or I was 18. I was one of the two. It was either 16 or 18. What's with the black flag, Caden? What's the black flags? Is that the English flag? Yeah, I think it was about 16. Oh, 18, I think. I was 18. I think I probably tried it at 16, and then... after that, that was it. But no, Daisy is not removed off the channel, it's just temporarily been postponed. When you use certain country flags emojis while on a live stream, it blocks them out. Yeah, for monetize it, but monitor, whatever it's called. Community moderation. Where you from, George? If you call yourself George, I know in France they like the. I think George is from France, isn't it? Georgia, Georgia. So let's get up. Turn off the music.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, veniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum.
All right. Can't see anything. No wonder it's a brick wall. Well, a wooden timber with no light coming through it. There we are. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, look at that. The sun is shining. Oh, it's beautiful. Are we fully healed? We certainly are. So we're healed and we're helped and we'll have a shite. Yes. We're gonna have a shite. Oh, look at all the flies buzzing. Look at all that turd. Oh, shite. That's foul. Look at the size of them flies. That is so foul. Alright, I've had a morning shite. Okay. In fact, I think we need breakfast, actually. We do need breakfast. Innkeeper's wench.
God bless.
May I please have some... Is there a sausage? There we go. I think we'll have... Is it roast chicken? Yeah. Roast chicken for breakfast. Nourishment of 78.
Wait, I need to talk to you.
Ah, it's this guy. One moment. Oh, there's no water in the trough. Yes? How may I be of service, good man? Caden, all your comments are coming up with red banners on my screen saying monetize these comments.
The merchants don't have. The last time I saw him,
It wants me to look at those comments.
Try him. He thinks about trade day and night.
Buy or sell something.
Someone to do business with. Well, Votva often gets things the merchants don't have. The last time I saw him, he was by the granary. Try him. He thinks about trade day and night.
Can you tell me where I can buy or sell something?
Someone to do business with. Well, Votva often gets things the merchants don't have. The last
Whoa,
time
is
I
this
saw him,
repeating
he
in a
was by the
glitch?
granary. Try him. He thinks about trade day and night. You're the young fellow who came here from Skalitz half dead, aren't you?
Yes. Why did you repeat everything twice there? That was bizarre. Yes, that's me.
Yes, that'll be me. Why?
The lady of the castle was asking after you. She wants to talk to you.
Ah, I'll go and see her then. Thank you.
Very well. Don't make her
She
wait.
wants me to do something. The lady of the house wants me to do something. Well, we may as well have a bath before we go visit the lady of the house. So she's all the way in the castle, so we've been invited and summoned to the castle. We can't not go. We have to go. Well, YouTube wants me to look at him and punish you for some reason. Is that what comments are like these days? Do people go like crackers for comments? You needeth, doeth, doeth. I don't need to do it, do I? No. Well, I can't even be bothered, but the thing is, people can't see them. Right? YouTube's telling me that people can't see these messages. It's only me that can see them. If I want to see them. I can't be bothered seeing them. I'm conquering the medieval times here. Look at them and make your judgments. I really want you to look at them. Oh, really? Can I not just look at the water instead? Look how beautiful this water is. We definitely need a bath, so... But we're going to have a rinse anyway, so we're going to have a rinse. So the bath maid should be out soon. Alright, I'll look at them. They're all flags. What's so bad about flags? I mean, they're waved on ships all the time, right? What's so insulting about these flags? They're just flags. There's nothing... Just flags. How can that be a problem if it's just flags? Is it classed as spamming? The only flags it doesn't allow is Scotland, Wales and England, is it not? Oh well, forget them three.
It's too deep here.
It is. So they're probably the three countries that people go on about, or the three states, aren't they? It's probably the three states people are always... What happens to be duck into it? Ah, it forces us up. No worries. There we are. Excuse me, is the main bath made up? It's, oh, I think it opens at 8 o'clock, the baths. So it looks like we've got to wait for our services to be activated, so... It's normally a female in a white outfit, so... Where is this female? Look how filthy he looks. Absolutely drowned in dirt. Let's see. Cooked hair meat. Green shirt. Scarf. Move them. I like the leather gloves. Then we'll wear them with. Suppose they could do with a clean, the van braces, and I don't know if they. Oh, the leather gloves. Okay. All right. I suppose they need a clean. There we go. Beautiful. No way, is he in the water as well? Copying Henry, are you? Have you lost yourself, NPC? That water looks really nice though. Doing a good job with that water. Here you go, son. Let me give you a hand.
Are you serious?
There you go. I was just helping you out. Giving you a little push. Sometimes it's what we need. Here she is. Alright, so we can take our filthy self and get cleaned. So. And we'll get a coffee. Use the bathhouse services.
I'm interested in your services.
So, what are you interested in?
Proper bath. And my clothes need laundering.
Proper bath. And my clothes need washing.
Oh, he normally says laundering.
Do you have the coin?
I have £10 for a bath. Most expensive bath I've ever paid for, but...
Fine. Here it is.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied. God bless.
So it's an Arthur Morgan bath, isn't it? It's like the maid comes in and gives you a back rub. No, but you don't see it. There is a scene where you do see what goes on. But look at that, we're nice and clean now. So... yeah, we're all nice and clean, look. So I suppose if we just go... there we go. People don't mind us wearing our undergarments. No one cares. George, yes. I almost from there. Are you really enjoying while playing these? Let's say slow tempo games. Yes, it's enjoyable for watching but not for playing to me. Also, what's the first game you ever played? Me? Ever? The first game I ever played? Ghosts and Goblins? First game I ever played was Ghosts and Goblins. Long time ago. Long time ago, George. But it was Ghosts and Goblins. That and Golden Axe. I remember mine very vividly. A long time ago. I remember it well. I mean, because you've got to think about it, right? Before there was consoles, there were computers. And let's just say that I played on a computer with a cassette for a good few years before consoles came out. I know consoles like the Magnavox and the Odyssey were out. They were cack, they were rubbish, but they were consoles nonetheless. They were still consoles. It's only until the Nintendo was released, the NES, that things started to change. But if you want to know my very first coloured computer game in colour, well, that would be Super Mario Brothers. You're from Czech, George? You're from Bohemia? From Czech Republic? Yeah? Some of the best gaming developers in the world are from Czech Republic, George. Even they made DayZ. I thought you were a bit younger. That's good. I'm glad that you do. Well, I look very young, actually, considering I do. Yes. Of course I look young. Of course I sound young. I haven't done any hard drugs. I haven't drunk any alcohol for years and years. I haven't drunk any. I haven't drunk any alcohol. I haven't taken any hard drugs. You know, if you take hard drugs and you drink a lot of alcohol, you know, expect there to be side effects. The candidates that spring to mind are one of the CODs. Not sure which must have been one, but must have been around 2011. Mario Brothers for the DS. Those are the first two that spring to mind. Well, that must mean you're rather young, kid, and you're rather young indeed. And that's a good thing. Well, if your fond memories of the DS and you enjoyed the Call of Duties, then, you know, That's your era. You're a 360 child. You know, you're a 360 child, man. And 360 childs, well... You know, you're introduced to that Call of Duty essence.
God save. Can I help you with anything?
Well, Lady Stephanie, I heard that you wanted to speak with me, but we're going to end this dialogue a moment while I get changed. See, so I'm going to wear some, I'm going to wear this. Oh, charisma of 6. Looks like we're not getting our charisma past 7, so... Still 7. Alright.
Do you want something?
Yeah, 360. It's a lot of current YouTube generations now. You know, we're getting up to 20 years old, 22 to 25, so 360s was their era.
I heard you wanted to talk to me, my lady.
It's true. I need something from you.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
help?
your era.
My cousin, young
Yeah, they were all the
Sophie,
same
is
back
going
then.
to be wed.
They were all the
It will be
same,
an
kid, and
entry
all
into
just
a new
screams,
life,
weren't they?
And I want everything to
See,
be
that's what I
perfect
mean.
for
By
her.
that
I'm
time,
looking for a few things to give her as a gift, and you're going to
by
find
that
them
time,
for
no
me.
one could tell what
My
was
lady,
what. At least when
why me?
I know exactly what computer I
Normally
was
I'd
using.
let
I
the
know
chamberlain
exactly what
take care of
console I
it,
was
but
playing on.
He doesn't have any taste. I can't trust him with this. And I've been told no task
The biggest
is too challenging
console
for
ever
you.
made,
Is that not true?
in terms of impact, would have been the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. It would be my honour.
It will be my honour, my lady.
I need you to pick up an ornamental crown from Sasau for Sophie, wine from a merchant in Ratai, and a roan from the stable in Ujits.
Harder than it sounds. Oh, the police sirens are out tonight. Oof. Where am I to find the wine?
Who am I supposed to pick up the wine from?
From Conrad Hagen in Ratai. He's the only person in the whole region who can supply a genuinely good wine. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Here you go. That should be enough.
And the ornamental crown?
I had the engravers in Sasau make it, but now they've written to say it will take a while longer. That just won't do. The wedding is almost upon us, and I need it. Go and see Master Jeronim Slesky and pick it up.
Oh. Something's happened to it. It's either been stolen or... What's our horse called in Red Dead Redemption 2? It's a chocolate roan, isn't it? Looks like we're going to pick up another chocolate roan. Let's pick up the roan.
You said a roan from Ujits.
Precisely. It's a beautiful animal. Wait till you see it. Dietrich said he'd ride it here himself, but I can already imagine how he'll end up killing himself on that horse. But you, so young and vigorous.
Oh dear. Hey, what she said then? I can do all that. Yeah, I guess there's no opportunity to refuse here.
Wine, a roan, and a crown. I can handle that.
Starfield,
Thank
who
you,
cares?
Henry. I just wish there were others here I could trust so well.
It's a Starfield is No Man's Sky, made by Bethesda. Starfield was not a new game that's been created. That game genre was created in 2016 to 2018. It's basically No Man's Sky. I mean, even YouTubers who are playing it now, right, Caden, are actually like... oh, is that the balcony? Hang on a minute, can people take a shit? Like, Isn't it like don't these like old medieval places had like toilets way high up, so when you took a dump, it just dropped down on the floor below? Oh, look at that. She lets us go in her own private chambers. Why, thank you, Stephanie. Nothing wrong with communal toilets. I swear, Caden, there's a place on here where it's got toilets up above, and it's like you can actually walk underneath them by accident, and if someone's dropping a load, you could actually see them do it. Like, that must have been bizarre to see back then. Absolutely bizarre. Nothing wrong with having a chat and a shit at the same time. I know. Nothing better. Nothing better. I know they did. I know they did. Because they hadn't discovered microbes back then. Microbes was discovered by a Scottish biologist. You know, before we discovered bacteria and microscopic life, they were called microbes. And it was just before we went microscopic. But he actually saw them living on the actual solid itself. He could actually see the parasites, like the microscopic life forms that existed on the planet that were unheard of. No, back in 1403, no one knew. The smallest thing people knew was like an insect, like an ant or a little bug. That's as small as we didn't think anything could get that small. Man United currently are 11th, Chelsea are 12th. Yeah? I love those trees. I really love those trees. You know what? Somehow they're nearly as good as Red Dead Redemption 2 trees. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 trees are very comic book-esque, but these are very real. But Daisy does have nice trees. Who's bottom of the league, Caden? It's got West Ham's top. All they've got to do is lose 3 games in the second, right? That's easily done. Believe me, that will soon come. You think Man City are gonna, you know, like, see, that's the thing with the beginning of the season, right? It doesn't mean a thing because, like, people are just like, just think because someone's first after a couple of weeks of the season, like, it's funny how the brain works. Like that just basically does not mean a thing. Starfield does look like it lacks originality, creativity or fun to play. Yeah, it's because it hasn't got any of that, because he stopped making it around about 3 years ago, and all he's been doing for 3 years, Todd Hours, is sat in a boardroom talking about the game he probably wanted to make. Till he sold all the franchises to Microsoft, because nobody would be willing to take them on. Burnley are bottom on goal difference. Well, Starfield is Bethesda's take on space travel. You were supposed to do that in Skyrim, I think, but it was just too far ahead of a thought to go. I think he actually wanted people to go to them planets, but instead we went to realms instead. Like, you know, you go to certain realms in Elder Scrolls. You don't go to planets, you go to realms. But I think Todd had an idea where you could actually go to the planets that you see in the sky, because there's another planet in the sky which people believe is the Fallout planet. Like, there's a big planet in the sky with Elder Scrolls, and people believe that that massive planet is like Fallout for like an alternate universe or dimension of Earth that's like next to this Elder Scrolls planet, and that they're both orbiting each other around a star. Like, the two planets orbit each other with a moon, like a figure eight. The moon would go around both planets like a figure eight type thing, I suppose. But you can look at the will you stream Starfield? No. Luton and 19th. There's no point me streaming Starfield. The top YouTubers are already doing it. Why? I mean, if I put Starfield on, we'd probably get like, probably at the most like maybe 8 viewers. But you have someone who's a major YouTuber putting that on, they get like 5,000 views. People watching them because they've built up the community. They've got the sponsors and everything. They've done it all. The only thing I can rely on is my own YouTube personality channel and the community. The content is just like whatever. You know, the content is just like, right, okay, this guy plays games where he chills and he walks around everywhere, and there's only going to be a small pocket of that audience around. Will you stream Skyrim? Maybe. It's been done though. It's been done. It's been done. People have minced that. You got people with like major PC engines playing that thing, like running it at the maximum settings, and will you stream Minecraft? Haven't thought about Minecraft. If I ever did stream Minecraft, it would be in creative mode. Yeah, probably would. It would be in creative mode, but I wouldn't do it in real mode. I'd do it in creative. Definitely for art and design purposes. It's time to build large community. Yeah, George, we've been trying since, say, late June. I'd say about late June, mid-late June, when I got my PS4 Pro, when I saved up for it. But it's going to take longer because people are loyal to channels, you know, George. People are loyal. And the only way people are going to go looking for other channels is if either that channel they're watching doesn't exist anymore, stops uploading videos, or goes through some kind of stage in its life where the channel's going through some kind of flux. You know, that would be the only way that anything would ever happen. But as for now, it's just a tiny community, George. Yeah, 8 weeks ago, 350 people isn't tiny. It is. It is, Caden. Come on, I appreciate the morale boost. That's why I like you, Caden. You know, you're always looking on the bright side, and I like that. But we've got to be real for a moment here. We've got to be realistic for a moment, because the realistic view is that the channel is extremely small, like a seed, and it's literally just been planted. And the only way that we'd ever be able to make anything of it is if you put 2 zeros in front of that number. And if you've not got 2 zeros in front of that number, gentlemen, then it'll just remain a small and tiny community. And you know what? I'm going to say something. That's what YouTube wants. And I will read out the newsletter I was given from YouTube, a personal letter that YouTube written to me the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Let's have a look. Okay, from YouTube, feel the love. Dear Ghost Render, you've got some admirers. We have a whole lot of love for you, Ghost. It says here, creating videos isn't a popularity contest, but if it were, you'd be flying. Since you first started the channel, well, it looks like since I restarted streaming again or something, I've had 2,069 likes across your videos. Congratulations. Curious to see what's got people smashing the like button. We've got you covered. So it was asking me to click this button to find out what that is. And it says, by the way, check out, you know, the YouTube creators for advice on building your community using YouTube Shorts and Live, interacting with your audiences, and finding new viewers and fans. It says, we'd love to see if you were enjoying these high five. So I got given a high five newsletter from YouTube, and it says, tag your posts with this particular signature have been provided, so YouTube can personally look at my posting community. It says, speak soon, Ghost. These are your friends at YouTube. P.S. We just thought we'd let you know, Ghost, that we're only sending these high five emails to a very small group of creators, and you are in our club. So I've been enrolled into a thing with YouTube where I believe the channel has done better than what I actually believe it has, right? But even though that is a lovely thing, right, and it really is, we still need to do better, because it's all we can do is keep trying and keep doing what we can. And YouTube are happy with what we've been doing, very happy. So just thought I'd let you guys know that if you're an avid fan of the channels, YouTube sent me a high five. So you can Google that stuff. You can Google what's a high five email from YouTube and it'll tell you. And that's what I've been given. I found this channel by checking Kingdom Come Deliverance game live stream topic, by the way. Oh yeah? Well, I'm glad, John. I'm glad, George, that you found Kingdom Come Deliverance, because the game is literally about £8 to buy. It's so cheap to buy, you know. And you could... I found it because I've been subscribed for years. I know you have. 2 or 3 years, I know. I know you have. But I'm glad, George, that you like Kingdom Come Deliverance. There's a channel called it used to be called Sexy Biscuit. I don't know what he calls it now. Also your brother. My brother? Who's my brother? Which brother? Oh, me brother who likes the football. The one who provided me this knowledge that I'm relaying to you on YouTube. Do you mean you know for a fact that me and my brother have had many conversations, and what I'm saying to you is what me and my brother have spoke about? So whatever me and my brother have spoke about in football, I just relayed it to you in like 15 minutes. You said you hadn't been uploading because of your brother, who was alive like a year. My brother? No. My mother passed away. My mother, Caden. My mum is gone, and my dad. But both of them are gone. They died. One died before the pandemic, and the other one died after it. So let's just say that the pandemic doesn't hold many. But my brothers are fine, as far as I know, Caden. My brother is alive. Yeah, of course he's alive. That's very dry humour, that. You're lucky I was raised with dry humour there, because some YouTuber would freak at what you're saying there. It's good job I know where you're coming from there. A lot of people would freak about that. They would. They would freak out. No wonder you're always getting monitored on YouTube. No wonder. Because I commented this channel had so much potential. I suppose it can do, yeah. We do have a personality here on the channel. We certainly do. Your brother is alive. Jeez. Very busy. Why are you not working, you bastard? There you are. I might get that Dr. Pepper. It's in the Oh, I'd never leave you as a community, like I would never do that. Hey, sweetheart. What are you doing carrying that bucket? Hey, sweet cakes. You're quite nice looking. Hang on a minute, for a rough chick. Oh, you got red hair? Well, I love girls with red hair. What are you ignoring me for? I'm Henry of Skalitz. Why are you ignoring Henry of Skalitz for, woman? She must be the wife of this guy, because that'd be the only way a woman would ignore you if she's already taken. I know, 2 years, I know. I had no console. I had no parents. What do you want me to do? Like, just get back on the horse there, like, and just, like, my creativity just comes out of nowhere. I mean, I had to do a lot of drawing. I had to do a lot of painting to really get my YouTubiness back. You know, to get my YouTubiness back, I had to do a lot of creative thinking and drawing and pastels and But what was I saying, George? Yeah, there's a channel called Sexy Biscuit, and he's basically like the person who does the channel is dedicated to Kingdom Come Deliverance, and the YouTube personality was very popular during the pandemic. I don't know if many people watch him now. If anything, it's likely that the channel doesn't exist. I believe he was forced, or the person was forced, to change the name on the channel because a Sexy Biscuit became, like, you know, I don't think it fell within the standard, and it's a shame really because it's a really good channel, right? And the YouTuber is, like, really funny. He's from, like, he's like Cornish, or like from Watch It, or Somerset. He's from one of them, like get there 11, get there 7 every way, you know, you get there in the end. It's like really Cornish, you know, very Cornish. And he does Kingdom Come Deliverance really good. And he's actually one of my the YouTubers is one of my favourite channels for Kingdom Come. And it's like the YouTuber doesn't really play the game. The YouTuber just talks about it, and it's really good how the person does it because it's little fragments. He never does like really long videos. Always like 10 minutes long, 11 minutes long, and it's always something enough for what the person's talking about. He took the E out? Is that what he did? Oh, the person. You got to be careful on what you say. He, she, the person. You got to be very like open. But I'm sure Sexy Biscuit would appreciate where I'm coming from. Like, I watch that channel a lot, and he's actually, especially his earlier videos when he was pre-pandemic and current pandemic and post-pandemic. He had really good videos. I think his girlfriend, or the YouTuber's girlfriend, actually made this game in Minecraft. Actually made the entire map in Minecraft. Every tree, every placement has been Minecrafted. But yeah, Biscuit is quite a good channel. Let's have a look where we're going here. Let's see what we got to do there. I have to ask. Alright, if Ginger wants to go back, and then what's this? Is this a scribe? The wrong. Oh, does he play Mafia? What, the YouTuber plays Mafia? More or less, no doubt. Mafia 2 is quite a good game. They're just old now. You know, they're just old games. Holy smokes, what's this? What in the Lord's name?
What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you?
Hello there. What in the Lord's name?
Yeah. Jesus! where you're going.
Oh man, look at all this armour we've got. Oh, we're gonna take all this Gutenberg armour. Look at this. I'll have it all, baby. All of it. Hey, we've dropped on here. Armour. Wow, a Gutenberg cuirass. Look at that. Oh my lord. Alright, move that to the horse. Horse. Saxon composite chassis. Oh, these were noblemen. They were noble guards. Who were gone villainous, I suppose, who have sided with Wenceslas, I suppose. Yeah, the Saxons. No way. Look at that. Gambeson. Nuremberg. Whoa, look at those shoulder pads. Wow, damn. On the horse. Ooh, look at them fancy gauntlets. On the horse. Maybe it's time to leave to be a knight and become a farmer with own lands. Oh yeah, well we have declared a little cottage that's ours, George. We certainly have. It's the what I'm more interested in is his sword. There you go, it's a piercer. Right. It's a piercer. So we've got ourselves a decent sword now. Look at that thing. Now that's a sword. So we can put that on the horse. Shield on the horse. We're still carrying a lot of stuff. Black hood. Oh, we've got two padded chatters. Get rid of that. Slippers. Which we can wear around the barkeeps and the inns. Alright, let's check out this dude. A dagger. Okay. Let's see. Bell-shaped, dark gambeson, gauntlets, brigand, fashionable black hose. Oh, we got some spurs. And a black hood from Game of Thrones. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, we're going to save it. We're going to save it. That's what we're going to do. We'll have to make some savior snaps. At the making potions on this Caden is sensational. Absolutely sensational. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Why is it weighed so much? Okay. We don't wear spurs. Become a Jarl of Skyrim, not a farmer in Kingdom Come Deliverance. I did it by downloading a mod. Oh yeah, this is the PlayStation 4 Pro. This, George, you can't download mods on this. This is the vanilla. This is the vanilla. Patched hose. Oh, he's got water. Nice. It's an apple. Our poor horse getting jam-packed full of stuff. I'm going to take this back home. There's another dude. One, two. I think this dude had something on him. Here we are. Groschen and an armourer kit. Some venison. Oh, they were poachers. They were thieves and poachers. Well, no doubt. No doubt. I thought there was more than 3. I thought there was more than 3. Bandages. Oh, deer hide. Some hermit. Won't say no. Okay. These are Lords of Lupia. That's what these are. These must be Lords of Lupia. We can't talk to any of them. They refuse to talk to us. Nettle. Yeah, I see it, Karen. I see it. Look how slow this horse is, because he's jam-packed full of gear. Come on, you got this. Need to get to an inn. That's what we need to do. We can't go any faster. Our horse is so sluggish because of the gear it's carrying. Oh, sugar. I think I'm better just running, actually. I think I'm better just dismounting, right? I think we're probably quicker, just mooch. Look at the frames, look at the graphics on these. No wonder Rockstar was impressed. Are you warm enough? Why'd you ask that? There's a heat wave today. Just normal, Caden. Just normal. Just admiring the scenery. It's a really beautiful game, so that's the thing about YouTube now as well, though. You can have multiple accounts. They'll restrict that in the future, like you only have one account. Oh, it's misty. It's very misty. What time is it? 4 o'clock? Kind of hazy, but well, it is summer, so how does a random peasant know how to read the time? His dad. His dad, and he taught him. His dad. He's a blacksmith, remember? Even though we can't read or write, he knows how to read shadows. And he's a blacksmith, so he knows heat and temper and how shadows work in the forge. And he just spent 18 years of his life at the forge, and then we take over the moment just before the Cumans invaded. So literally, he'd been doing that every day. Like, that had been his life in that town. And then we take control just as his life gets turned upside down. And basically, he's in a war. That's what it is. He's basically like Peter Parker. Peter Parker had to grow up early. He lost his Uncle Ben. His Uncle Ben was killed by a robber that he let go. He let the robber go. and that robber killed his Uncle Ben, and he had to grow up early. And that's what Henry has to do. He has to grow up early, because if he doesn't, he'll be killed. And he was asking his mum and dad to train him how to fight, and his mum and dad have been saying no, and then all of a sudden, at the very moment when they were saying no, he actually really did need to know how to fight to protect his mum and his dad if he wanted to. And his mum and dad didn't want him to, though. His mum and dad didn't want him to protect them with a blade. They wanted him to run away. They'd rather him do that than fight. But what it is that that's just mum and dad protecting their genetic future. In reality, the way the lords are looking at it in the military, they just see Henry as a useful asset, who he actually becomes an inspector. You actually become an inspector, so Henry does prove to be a very valuable asset to the team. And he's a mercenary. He's a mercenary. He's paid by, you know, the nobles. And in return, he gets his freedom lock. He's able to hunt, go wherever he wants. Alright, so we're on the right track. You've been following me the whole time. Never seen the game so fresh. I don't know where we're going here, but I think all we need to do is get to a barkeep where we can stay the night. That's not one. All right. Oh yeah, roses are red, violets are blue. Come on, Pebbles. There's a deer in the field. Wow. I'm sure as well there's a barkeep to the far east, but I don't want to take the chance to completely miss it off guard. Like, I'm sure there's one like it's like up here somewhere, I think. Could be somewhere around here, but I do know there's the inn of the something. But it looks as though yeah, give me a sec. Shit. Take care, Kaden. Have a good night, mate. Thanks for joining this evening. Can you say what happened yesterday? Your screen went blue. Then stream turned off. I know my internet went out, George. It completely went down. It completely went down. And you know what? I was so tired by then, George, that I just said, I'm going to bed anyway. Didn't think anyone was watching, to be honest with you, like. But yeah, the screen went off yesterday because of I think it was a bit of both actually. It was either the game crashed and the internet went off at the same time, so.
No wish to trouble you, good man. But if you could help
me. Why would a geezer in fully armoured regalia require help? Doesn't make sense. He doesn't need to ask us, a nobody like us, for help when he's got all the equipment he needs. It's just bizarre. I don't see any point in it. All right. All right. Wow, completely missed it. Excuse me.
G'day, Henry.
Yeah. Go to bed soon, I shouldn't stay up too late. It's like getting up dead early all the time, going to work. It's just like... just tired of doing it, to be honest with you. Can you say a few words as a native speaker about complicated time tenses? If you don't mind, of course. I mean the perfect tenses and the perfect continuous tense. Well, I don't think so, George, no. Not really. Don't believe I could speak for complicated times. My when I say something on the channel, it's for comic book reasons only. It's not really supposed to be factual or political. It's purely like comic book-esque. Because a person who has no education on the subjects, no experience in the field, and holds no clout, it's just classed as a comic book opinion, really. So I don't really do George, unfortunately. I don't really have much to say about complicated times, unfortunately. That's not what the channel's about, George. The channel, that's just for Caden, that. Caden's just basically likes to hear mad, crazy, out of the blue terms. He loves like that futuristic prediction, Nostradamus, comic book opinion. He loves that stuff as a viewer. That's why I do that for him. I do a lot of stuff for my viewers, George. I don't just like say things just to entertain people. Each viewer has a unique way of watching the channel, and they'll all have a particular subject that they want to talk about. And in Caden's shoes, it's normally the country's politics, because he's always playing on Crusader Kings 3, and he's always getting involved in that. Or he likes to talk about football. So what I do is I combine the two, football and the country, and I give him my take on both. And he really enjoys it as a viewer. That's what he likes to listen to, and so I give him that comic book reference. And a lot of viewers like that from me, George. They appreciate that I speak to them, like, speak from the mind in like a creative way, not in a political, like serious way. It's not one of those channels. It's not that kind of channel. This is purely computer games, and everyone just having a laugh and not taking each other too seriously. Trying to introduce a new rhythm to YouTube where people can say their opinion on whatever they like as long as it's not within, you know, the YouTube terms and everything. They're just...
You're not averse to a bit of profit, are you?
No. What do you have in mind? Before I go to this barkeep. What time is it? Oh, it's a bit late. It's a bit late, mate. Sorry. It's too late. In fact, though, I'm curious about what he's got to offer, to be honest with you. What do you want, man, sitting on a cliff?
You're not averse to a bit of profit, are you? I've got this plan.
What is it?
It's just that you look like someone who doesn't mind a bit of adventure. And I'm looking for someone like that. It's like this. I know of the whereabouts of some treasure. Well, treasure is a lofty word. Simply hidden valuables. And this information I can share with you for a certain price.
I don't get it. Why don't you just get the treasure for yourself?
The thing is, it's a bit out of the way. And with all that's happening in the country, the roads ain't safe. Never mind the forests. So I'd rather leave the joys of exploring to someone bolder than me.
Sounds a little fishy to me. How do you know about it?
Well, I helped this merchant out, see? His wagon got stuck in the mud, and in return, he shared it with me.
He told you where he had money hidden? That sounds unlikely.
The thing is, at the time, he wasn't quite alive, see?
What?
I mean, I found the merchant dead in his wagon. So me and my cousin freed the wagon, and as I was helping him into the grave, we dug... Well, my hand accidentally slipped inside his coat and caught hold of this parchment with something scribbled on it.
Right. No beating about the bush.
15 groschen. Alright.
That's a rather wild story. But worth a try.
Excellent. Here, take this. And I wish you good fortune in your search.
£15 for a map. I'm not sure that I wrote my thought well, so I asked about a topic of English grammar. Just your opinion as a native speaker, but okay, I got it anyway. Thanks for the reply. Oh, you want to know about the English language? It's very difficult to speak. No doubt. Very difficult to speak. It's not easy. It's it uses every letter, you see. It uses every letter of the word to a degree. And the words that are sometimes spoken, George, aren't always said the way they're spelt. So, a lot of citizens who learn how to speak English try to make sense of the words that they've got to say, every letter, and make sense of the words where we don't use every letter. And there are silent letters, and there are apostrophe finishes. So we've got like apostrophes, and you know, in strange areas. Like if I was to say George. George is a name. You are George. Right? You are George. However, if you say that is George's phone, there'd be an apostrophe on there. You know, there'd be an apostrophe just before the S. See if we can run it the rest of the way. Because that horse is just sluggish, it's too slow. We're almost here, look. So yeah, if you want to know my thoughts on the English language, it took me a long time to learn it as well, and I am English. Even to this day, it's still a struggle to learn. I don't know where I've ended up here. Ah, it's there, look. There's the alehouse. Right. Not far. Let's run. We'll run this because when it gets too dark, they don't let us rent a room. Look at that beautiful night sky. And it's illegal to roam the land without a torch, so... Ah, good evening. Good evening, hello, hello. Innkeeper, innkeeper. Ah, there you are. I require a room, fair maiden. A place to sleep.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
All right. For how long?
Just a night.
Just the one night.
All right. Money up front, though.
Yep.
Here you go.
You've got it all to yourself. No one will disturb you.
Thank you.
God bless.
What we'll do is we'll buy some mead, I believe. Got some mead. There we go.
What the hell are you doing?
This deer looks pretty rancid. You've got food poisoning. Next time be more careful about what you eat. Well, certainly will. We will be more careful. Let's see what we've got to wash it away. Some mead. The mead will get rid of it. Looks like there's nobody here. Nice. Oh, We'll keep the armorer's kit to level up here. But wow, look at all this stuff we've got. Wow, so we'll leave that on the horse. Wow. Used all the kit, like. Gonna keep all of them. No, what's his name is a Linen Hood. A mace. But that's brutally get this in the face of one of them. Okay. Pretty groovy. We'll have to go to a tailor and get that repaired. Off to sleep we go. Guess that's a save. Surprised the rain hasn't broke yet. Oh dear. If it's drippy drippy. Well, now that it's saved and we're all done and dusted, that'll be the stream for tonight. It's been a blast. Good night, God bless.